Hey traders, Okane here. I'm going to talk about chart patterns. So what are patterns? I mean, are there even patterns that recur from time to time? The answer is yes. And what exactly is a pattern to begin with? I mean, it's something that happens over and over, right? That's when you see a pattern. I mean, there are multiple patterns, of course. There can be lots of different types of patterns. For example, a pattern could be a channel, a triangle, a rectangle, a double top, and other candlestick formations. And I've already drawn some of those for you here. For example, you see we have one downgoing channel here, we have an upgoing channel here, we have a resistance line here, later became support. So these are all patterns. What are they good for? They're good for trading, obviously, so you can plan your trade, so you can know what's going on and how to react. Is price going down? Where is the target? Where is it gonna meet resistance? Where you're gonna see the next breakout? And you can see the pattern here as well. For the breakout, you got one breakout here, the large candlestick from this trend line here, and then this happened over again on the lower trend line here, on the supporting trend line. From this channel it broke out and started a new channel going up instead, back to the resistance line. So next question, how to identify patterns? I mean, it's easier to go back and draw lines and say, oh look, there was a pattern, rather than recognizing or being able to plan for future patterns. How do you do that? So if you're a beginner, the easiest way to do this is to go and draw a lot of trend lines. First of all, you want to go back and use previous history to begin with, because it's easier to draw patterns on already existing charts, already existing patterns, and highlight them, identify them, as I have done here. This is good for training. Once you've done that, it's easier to do that for live charting, live trading as the market moves. So what you want to do is to focus only on drawing trend lines and support and resistance lines. So once you do that, the patterns will come to you, and you will start seeing those. For example, when I drew all these, I started with this trend line here, I started with the breakout here, and then extended my line to these points, and then I realized I could extend it back and further forward. And then I realized, oh, we have similar support areas. This candle stopped here, here, so I had 2 points already there, 3 points here, 4, 5, and I realized once I drew this trend line that, look, we have a channel here. So you can see it intercepted the breakout as well. And that's how you train your eyes. You start with simple trend lines, simple support resistance lines, and you don't think about trying to find the patterns, but you focus on drawing the trend lines and support resistance lines. And I said about something about drawing on previous history. And it's not only good for practicing purposes, but it's actually good for the future as well, because I have noticed many times when I draw a pattern or even a simple trend line, which is also a pattern, that later on it will either become support or resistance. I mean, it's likely that it becomes support or resistance even in the future. So it's not useless to draw lines and find patterns on previous charts, because use of them when they project future patterns, as they sometimes do. And analyzes these kind of technical studies requires many charting hours. You need to study well, you need to adapt your eyes, and this way you will be able to find future patterns. So an example of that, how you would see a future pattern is, I'm gonna draw this for you. For example, you have a resistance line was tested a few times and price fell, so you have that resistance line, and then price moves up to it, it breaks the line, and then you will see it becomes support, and then you get the price is still moving, but now you also draw a trend line, because as I told you before, you want to draw support and resistance lines. So once you do that, then in the future, as the price moves, you will extend your lines and you will see that, oh, now we have a pattern here, we have a descending triangle, like in this case. Price is moving down, and eventually it might either break the trend line and continue up, or break the support line and continue down. So this is how you can later on find patterns, because you weren't really looking for a pattern, you were just drawing your lines, and the pattern happened to show up there. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching.